Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary buddies, to another video of mine featuring Spoofy Holofox myself. So, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail. For one, I will say one thing: I am not bothered by furry hate towards myself. This happened when I was protecting a few other people who were furries themselves at a workplace, and I was the one who got in trouble for it. And I'm here today to share the story as anonymously as possible. No names will be said. The only things that I will say is that it was a school supervision job, and I worked at lunch hour with supervising students at high school. This started out with me starting to talk more with the students who were into anime and character creating and other stuff. Soon to figure out that some of them were furries. So I was happy to talk to them about it, considering how the stigma is bad for younger people around others who have bad experiences with knowing what furries are. And this, I'll say it right now, I tried my best to handle it as best as possible, but the people above me handled it very poorly. And you'll understand why later on throughout this video. So we start out with one day. This school had what was called a graffiti board. Note, this graffiti board wasn't a whiteboard. It was a black board with markers, paint markers. Therefore, whatever was written on it was permanent. Which was, for one thing, a very bad idea for a school with teenagers. A very bad idea. This is why I spent almost 50% of my job of the hour each day looking on this board to see if there were no swear words, nothing inappropriate or offensive written on the board. And I come to one day where a couple of students were vandalizing some furry artwork that was drawn on there, which I have to admit I'm giving a lot of credit towards because that was some really cute art. But it was vandalized. And what was vandalized with was swear words. So of course I did the best I could to erase it with a cleaner, paper towel, and stuff like that. I then proceeded to report it to the staff higher than me, seeing as how some students are being targeted because of simple, harmless hobbies. This didn't escalate well. Not well at all. Because this later came to discover that the older students that were bullying the younger students had found out that I was a furry. That did not go well, considering how these older students decided it would be fun to spread rumors to the staff and teachers that my hobby was extremely inappropriate for a school environment. I think you know what way I'm getting here. So I wasn't aware of it yet. However, one day when I was erasing yet more vandalism on that board, I'm approached by a teacher. And she asks, what am I doing? And I say, well, I'm erasing inappropriate content on the board because there are swear words. There was someone drawing some very inappropriate things on there too, but that's just kids. And then this teacher comes to me and says, well, why aren't you erasing the furries? So I pause for a moment. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with furries? And the words that came out of this woman's mouth, I do not want to repeat on YouTube. And mind you, she said this in front of all the students in the auditorium, the lunchroom, having their lunch break. Meanwhile, I was here wearing a sweater with my persona on it. Most of the school had known that I was a furry by now. So this woman blatantly accused me of some very nasty things in front of the entire student population of the school, which did not go well at all. And it painted a bad image of myself towards the rest of the staff. And it doesn't stop there. The day I come back, well, not day, but like, yeah, the same day, I come back home, I'm just doing commission work, and I receive a message from the principal, basically my boss, literally my boss, warning me about to never speak or let any students speak about the topic of furries anywhere near the school again, in a tone that sounded like if anything were to happen again, I would lose my job. And I was just kind of in disbelief. At the same time, this also caused me to panic because I do have anxiety, and one of my biggest fears is being seen as a bad person. That is one thing that I'm absolutely terrified of, and the tone I was met with just made my anxiety go up through the roof. So we go later on, I call my mom, and then she sees the situation I'm in, so she herself contacts the principal. Mind you, this principal would never listen to me. However, listening to someone older than me was perfectly fine, which again, I had a problem with, because I am working for you. I am not a student. Listen to me and not only my mother. So this goes on, and then this principal sends me another message. And the words that she said really upset me. I'm not going to say it word for word because I don't remember it word for word, and I don't want to get out my phone to search for it. But I was told that I was too old to let my mother handle my situations. Well, for one thing, you wouldn't listen to me. So how am I supposed to handle my own situations when you don't listen to me? And that was when the principal just kind of said, don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't care what happens. I'm not doing anything. And the students just kind of fought back. Now, no, nothing bad happened with these students who were furries. I think they're doing a lot better now, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that the lack of respect, and also during the time when I was erasing this bad stuff off the board, and I actually caught some of the students vandalizing some Pokemon art, I was told to do my job. But apparently, protecting students for being bullied for their hobby is getting into business I shouldn't be getting into. Yet, protecting other students was perfectly fine. That was how unprofessional that was being handled. Just because some students were having different interests, they were completely disregarded by the staff and weren't handled with the same appreciation as other students who were I guess, more popular or whatever, which is entirely insane. There's numerous other things that happened during this, but I don't think it needs to be mentioned. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And the message about saying how furries were inappropriate is probably what sent me. Especially considering the same person had gotten me to volunteer in my fursuits at a elementary school and had no problem with it. This principal had seen Spoofy and Honeybee in person. Lack of trust just because of what other people say is unbelievable. And this is also what I want to say is that I might go a bit further on into the fact of standing up for other people, because it really needs to be said. We'll say all the time, oh yeah, we're going to stop bullying. Oh, we have no tolerance for bullying. But this is a prime example. The fact that the staff could have listened to me like adults and let me explain what was going on the opportunity was right there. I am an adult. I can handle this in an adult way. But these people who have been teaching for years handled it in a way that internet trolls would have handled it in a comment section. And it bewilders me. Anyways, sorry for the whole rant of the day. That was my first story time of how I basically almost got fired and was treated like dog poo at the job that I was enjoying for most of the while until student rumors got out. So remember, the next time you try to say something about someone just because you think it's funny, even if it's a teacher, staff member, that stuff can get pretty messy depending on the people who are working with them. So please, I want you to say, for workspaces, just think before you say something, because it could affect someone's job in the long run. Thank you guys so much for standing through this, and I really hope you enjoyed my story time. If you have your own bad work experiences with being found out you were a furry, feel free to share them down below, and I'll be sure to read them. If you like this content, feel free to subscribe. I try to upload weekly, and make sure to give that thumbs up right down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate you all. Bye!